Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah. I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building with the chauffeur. And he waiting on me, got umbrella in his hands and my name in the seats. No gift, baby, no thanks, no chinchillas, baby. So what happened to Frank? No phone calls, transactions hand in hand. Give the drugs to Rick, the money to Benny Banks. Talk to Craze and he talks to me. Keep my business out the streets, it's the ART.
Welcome to the show.
We on?
Yeah, we on. We're about to start right now.
Oh, wait.
All right. Let's do this real quick. I got my, let me share my screen.
We're editing this, right?
Yeah, Justin's working on the, he's recording everything.
All right, just making sure.
Okay, so so welcome to the show. I want to say congratulations to Anthony and Ashley. They just had a baby girl today. I want to say congratulations, Anthony. I want to say congratulations to our producer, Justin and Jennifer. They got married during our off season, so congratulations to Justin. And
no, they kept it like a celebrity high profile type of wedding though. Like
yes, they did. And congratulations to my motherfucking self. I'm having a son. Me and my wife are having a son. Yeah. That's why I brought out the little Brugal. I'm about to have me a little drink. So basically, season 4 happened. We had fun. Jaylah was one of our last few interviews. And it went great. We were looking for a female co-host. We actually spoke before that episode with her, and she agreed to come on. Fast forward, we announce her at LMP. Everything happens. Everything's great. We plan out our little promo for season 5.
And the fucking happened.
Coronavirus.
And then all of a sudden, you know, coronavirus. So we hope everybody's alive and well. I see Benny just woke up. Clarence just woke up. Justin is in hiding.
I woke up too.
The only shit is that you told that story like there was.
I can't hear you.
We can't
I
hear
said
you.
the only problem is that the way you told that story, it was like a correlation. Jaylah and Corona.
It made me feel like it was my fault. Like coronavirus happened because Jaylah was joining the show.
I don't know. I dropped the Who Is episode of Jaylah, and then all of a sudden coronavirus hit the U.S. So I don't know.
What can I say? I'm a hot commodity nowadays.
During the off season, we're still working on the documentary. We had to put a pause to that because of coronavirus. We did a 10-minute sports episode, and then we did the Who Is series. Coronavirus hit, and now everybody's in quarantine life. So this is the first time I see you guys in a while. Craze, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Jaylah, and then Clarence, and then Benny. How's quarantine life?
Yo, it's been terrible, man. Actually, it's been great. I've been smoking hookah all day. Smoking my. I don't have to go to work, but I think it's gonna affect me and himself because he keeps leaving the fucking crib.
Oh damn!
Stay in the crib.
But other than that, it's been great, bro. I've been drawing, smoking hookah, sleeping, all my favorite things.
And Jaylah, how about you? How's the
What are you eating, bro?
coronavirus? Pineapple fried rice.
Dang, you just keep like upgrading on food level.
I know.
Whole thing.
Sheesh.
That shit.
I'm definitely cooking after this.
And then Brugal, Siglo de Oro for my in-show drink.
My baby shot of Henny straight because, you know.
How you got a red cup shot glass?
I'm an OG, okay? You all should know better by now. I am on day 2 of quarantine. I today decided to look like a decent human being. Actually, I'm not gonna fucking front. Quarantine life has been pretty normal in a weird way. I lost my job. I'm not really upset about it. I think I'm at peace for once. I think that because of everything that's going on, I thought I'd be going more crazy and more. Not yet. We'll figure out at what day that will happen. But I'm doing pretty good. Me and my friends are here. We got Mickey Mouse, Bad Bunny. We need the unicorn. I'm good. Quarantine day number 22. I got this.
Number 24. Goddamn.
If you're talking to stuffed animals, you good. You got stuffed
Me and Bad Bunny have been, he's been showing me cómo perrear sola. So,
hey.
We're going to talk about that video too.
We in the streets. We out here. Well, we're actually not in the streets. We're watching the streets from our Florida. We call it a balcony. In New York, we call it a fire escape.
That's because it's the escape fire.
Yeah.
Not chill.
It's not a balcony. Benny, how's your quarantine life going?
Look at his face. I think that's enough.
You look disheveled, bro. I'm seriously concerned.
I'm watching the Mets versus the Braves, 2001.
Your man is so bored. He's watching a game from 2001.
19 years old. Game.
2001. 9/11 game.
9/11 game.
You watching the 9/11 game?
Bro, how are you going from one major disaster to another?
I was thinking about this the other day. In my lifetime, I lived through 9/11, the 2008 crash, and now coronavirus.
And there was a hurricane in New York.
Yo, true. Sandy.
Oh, Sandy too.
Yeah. I was here also sitting on my balcony / fire escape at that time.
Yo.
I don't think you should sit on the balcony / fire escape.
That shit,
I feel like the more natural disasters, the more I talk about it.
Clarence is clearly doing amazing with a yellow suede do-rag on.
It's mustard. It's not yellow. It's mustard, guys.
His logo on the moon.
It's gold, you know what I mean? And I'm cool. I'm cozy. I'm living over here.
Go ahead.
Oh, why his voice changed though? Like,
sultry.
What's going on over here?
Quarantine files. Justin, what'd you do during the chime in? How's your quarantine going? Newlywed quarantine.
Do that too.
JT, the director.
Pull up.
No, he turned his mic.
I don't chime in. I just do the background.
Should just do the background.
Yo, so now that you're locked up, you're probably watching something. You're probably listening to something. You're probably reading a book if you read, or you're doing something. And I painted our bedroom because my son is going to be born in June. So I'm doing like house stuff. What are some things you guys are doing?
It's called nesting, Rick. It's called nesting. You're nesting phase of the pregnancy.
I don't know what it's called. I just know, he's coming and there's a clock ticking back here.
Yeah, it's called nesting. So what you're really doing, because obviously I have given birth.
There you go.
I'm a mother. I've given birth.
Grace gave birth too.
Me too. Come on.
It happens. You're in this phase of your pregnancy stage where you're getting things ready for the baby. And it's natural. And you kind of go into you start doing weird things like cleaning.
My wife was the one that first started. She started getting into the nesting mode. And then I had to just put up a picture.
Hey, there you go. Boom. Nesting.
So, but we did a lot this weekend. But what are you guys, Jayla, what have you been doing? What you've been listening to or reading or watching?
I got a visit from the NYPD. That was really cool. That was kind of like a highlight. I've had weird things actually happen during quarantine. I live near a church, and they did 2 weeks ago. They did a whole procession through the Heights, because I live in the Heights. And that was really cool. And then the other day I was listening to the Backstreet Boys, and my upstairs neighbor apparently was not fond of my music choice. And she started yelling downstairs, and the cops were there, and I was yelling like upstairs. It was quite eventful. So, quarantine has been yesterday I saw rain again after some days. So it's been
Have you gone outside?
Only for necessities. I do. The liquor store, the bodega, and the supermarket. Pretty much my 3 go-to places. But it's really go in and out, wear the mask, have the gloves.
Purell, Lysol.
Yeah, the whole shebang. And I have one outfit that I'm allowed to go outside in.
Oh yeah, I got my door outfit. Like, it's by the door.
Yes.
It don't go anywhere else. The shoes too.
Yep, they just stay there, and that's my one go outside outfit. And I normally try to do everything and then come home and like straight up shower, and it's like a new phase. So it's definitely a different routine. I FaceTime my daughter. I try to do bedtime stories with her. She's obviously not too amused by it. She'd rather be on her YouTube. Yeah.
I mean, it's real. I remember Rick, who we've
and I'm doing crossword puzzles, y'all.
He tested positive for coronavirus. So
Rick? Really?
Yeah. So it's hitting home, Craze, I know it hit like close to home, but not like near.
Yo, straight up. My son's teacher got tested positive, and she's like hospitalized. She's not even like she's young. She's like 28 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Well, Rick is like our age.
Yeah, bro, that shit's crazy. Now, Rick
take care of your immune system.
I feel like Rick got a few years on it.
So, what you been doing, watching, listening, or reading?
I've been sharing some of my stuff with y'all. I've been drawing. I've been trying to
Oh, I forgot to mention the Trap House. Yeah, Craze launched the Trap House in the off time.
I'm still mad you haven't drawn me, but you've drawn a bunch of dudes. But all right, I'll let you rock, bro.
My subconscious be drawing dudes. I got you. But yeah, I've been drawing. I've been watching a lot of fucking TV. Right now I'm up on Westworld and The Outsider. I just finished that joint.
Outsider is great.
What else have I been watching? I've been watching a few other shows, but I've been watching too much fucking TV. So less TV. But what I've been doing is really on my couch. That's what I really been doing.
Question though, guys, are there certain things that you guys are watching that you consider research TV, since we're all in the creative field?
Oh yes, I've been watching a lot of fucking.
This man adjusted.
The Tiger King.
Whoa, that Tiger King shit. I haven't watched it yet though.
You have to watch it. It's a comedy all on its own.
Benny was telling me that shit is funny as fuck, bro.
You should watch it.
It's spectacular. Benny was his lover. That's why he's
Benny looks like right now he is preparing for Joe Exotic to get out of jail. Going to audition for his next husband.
I could see Benny chilling with that nigga though.
I'll definitely chill with him.
Do you all think Carol Bassett murdered her husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Wait, somebody murdered?
Grace hasn't seen it. Oh my God, you gotta watch it, man.
You gotta watch it.
What you been watching, Rach?
I've been watching. Well, I saw The Boys because Benny put me onto that show, and that show is a fire. The Boys is on Amazon Prime. It's a really good. Huh?
I seen that shit a while back. It's good.
It's a show about superheroes, but they put superheroes in a light that you wouldn't even think of.
Hero?
Huh?
There's another superhero show that's kind of weird. It's trippy. It's actually a Marvel show. Legion. It's on Hulu.
I haven't seen that. But there's a lot of I've seen Bad Boys for Life. I've seen a lot of movies. That's what I've been watching.
I don't.
And I'm waiting for season part 4 of La Casa de Papel, which is this weekend.
That's a good fucking show.
That's my favorite show on Netflix.
On the bright side, Disney Plus has been throwing out all their new movies extra early.
Yo,
Onward is coming out April 3rd.
Wait, what? What's coming out April?
What's coming out April 3rd? Mulan?
Onward, their last Pixar movie.
Oh, I have it. Because I got the Fire Stick, so I have that movie. I haven't seen it.
Peter.
I saw not Quarantine, Contagion.
Rick has a legally obtained license.
Nah. I saw the Bad Bunny video, which I thought was dope, and he's getting a lot of flack for.
Yo, he knows what he's doing. Right now, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna say this, and y'all can record me. Bad Bunny is winning quarantine right now. He has been the best thing that has happened to quarantine 2020. Between his Toy Story videos, dropping his album, the music video that got everybody talking, and the quarantine song of 2020 legit is Yo Perreo Sola.
Yo Perreo Sola, yeah. Ed did a sketch with Ed the Barber. And also, I think J Balvin's album. I heard J Balvin's album and Joyner Lucas. That's another album that I like the video he did, the Will video. It was pretty good. I love Joyner Lucas, so to me, it's different. J Balvin's album I like a lot.
You like
So Justin just put up the picture of Bad
Yo,
Bunny.
but tell me how much he don't look like Cardi B though.
I mean, he kind of does.
Oh, I got like Ivy Queen vibes.
No, I got only because he's light skinned. Like if he I don't know, I feel like he was inspired by like Cardi.
I just feel like the message of the video flies over people's heads. He did it because of the trans person that was murdered in Puerto Rico, and also is basically sending a message like men are aggressive when it comes to reggaeton, and they like to like pull women and grind up on them. And it's like, nah, chill, I don't want to dance with you, then respect that point. So that's what the point of the song was. And then the visual was to bring light to that situation in Puerto Rico.
He's a whole genius. I'm kind of low-key mad at Anuel, though, for that little bullshit beef.
Yo, what was it? What was it that Anuel said? I didn't really know.
So he basically put on his story that he don't mess with no reggaeton artists, but the guys he named. And then he recanted the statement because everybody was getting on his back.
And he also
today did something, and he was like, "Oh, I finally saw the video, and that's a video that's not good with God."
But he mentioned Bad Bunny that he don't fuck with him.
No, he just
basically like, he threw like subs, like kind of saying like, "I don't mess with niggas that dress like girls." Like he went like all out, like it was a whole thing, and realistically, if you know the backstory with Anuel being locked up and the whole Spiff TV and all that, you know, Bad Bunny was at the beginning of the rise there, so he had already showed Anuel a lot of love, and supposedly they were cool. Yeah. So
they did a song with Future. They did a song with Future together, and also he did a song when Anuel was locked up. I forgot the name of it. So he was showing Anuel love, like when Anuel was locked up. So I thought it was whack that he went at him. So that's one thing. But to get back to Tiger King, Benny's boy, because I think as a music artist, Bad Bunny is the one that's like being talked about the most at this point. But I think Tiger King was ruling everything. Because I took one of the photos and I put Benny's face on Joe Exotic's husband. And it was like one of the most liked and photo that circulated. And then we did the meme of Carol Basket. But everybody's talking about it. I saw the whole series. Benny told me about it before he saw it. He saw it.
Look at Benny's face, though. He looks like he should just be with Joe Exotic, bro.
I saw a meme that said I tried to explain Joe Exotic to my mom. And he's a magician, a tiger. He's a gay, gun-toting president, governor, candidate. And the mom was like, "Oh, that's a lot of people to keep track of." And he's like, "No, Mom, that's just one guy." So Joe Exotic Tiger King is the thing that's that has everybody talking right now.
I didn't
Crazy.
realize how cheap tigers were, by the way.
I didn't know the situation was that serious.
Wait, how much for?
They were talking about like $1,500, $2,000. That's not a lot for a tiger. There's a fucking Gucci bag more expensive than that.
What? Nah, that can't
I'd rather have a tiger than a Gucci bag. I'm not gonna front.
I don't think you can.
There's Carol Basket that Justin's putting in the shot right there. So she allegedly Craze killed her husband. She had an affair with a rich guy, ended up marrying that rich guy. He left
we're not
his
talking
wife.
like millionaire. Like, he was like a billionaire, no?
He was like he was like a millionaire. He was rich. Then if he disappeared, the case is still open, but the theory is that she fed him to her tigers.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I thought you shouldn't be defending Carol. Joe would not like that.
BuzzFeed did what's going on here? I'm viewing Clarence's screen. BuzzFeed did what do you call that? A poll. Who thinks that she's guilty? 98% that she killed her husband.
I mean, Joe did a whole music video on it. That's how you know it's real.
Yo.
Bro, he also does country music. Crazy, you gotta watch Tiger King, bro. There's only 7 parts.
His music is fire, though. His music is fire.
I was tight to find out that he's not the one that records and sings it.
He's not?
No.
Did he Milli Vanilli?
Yeah, he did.
No.
He did.
I fuck with country music, though, so I gotta see what... Yo.
He's got Quarantine Clarence.
These pictures are fire.
So besides Benny watching the 2001 Mets Braves, what you been doing, Benny, during quarantine?
I'm still trying to find out what pictures y'all talking about. I don't see shit on my phone.
Because you got to put it on the what's the name of the view, Craze?
Gallery.
Gallery view. In the top right corner.
On your, it should be on your top.
Top right. It says.
It looks like a little grid.
Whatever. It doesn't matter, yo.
Wait, can somebody just pull it up and show it to him on the screen? I'm sure it's the same thing. I'm kind of sad I don't have it.
Wow, that's crazy. So the podcast has been streamed 4,000 times since now in September, and Buzzsprout just sent me a message.
Hey.
Shut up.
So that's good. That's good. Huh? They send you like a congratulatory banner and shit.
You should print that shit out.
For what? You want that?
Hats?
You want that? What about Drake's son? What y'all think about Drake's son?
Yo, he's
not his kid, bro.
That's not his kid.
He's cute. Oh man, that kid looks like Odell Beckham Jr.
That is not his kid.
It looks like the mom.
Nope.
Bro, that doesn't look like anybody. That doesn't look like anybody I know.
Bro, she's darker than Drake and her baby. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That baby looks like
It is blonde with blue eyes.
This is the baby. That don't look like Drake?
No.
It's either that or she had an affair with Benny and gave birth to the baby and told Drake that it was his.
Maybe. I don't play past her.
No, I can't.
So y'all don't think that's... But it looks like the mom. They did a side-by-side of Drake's mom.
Yeah, so of course it looks like her. And that blondness does not tell me that's naturally her hair color either. So I don't know what other light skin she was with, but...
So you trying to say she dyes her hair blonde?
But look at Drake. He's got a nice little... what's the name of the... Benny? What's the name of that movie? Golden Lords. He looks like Golden Lords Drake right there.
Huh? Drake? Drake doesn't have blonde hair, bro.
He does in the picture that Justin's putting up.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for telling me about this picture. Describe each picture that comes up, bro.
Benny, I'm going over.
Can you not see your screen, Benny?
She does not know what's going on.
Situation. I feel so dark. Why do I look so dark?
Because you're black.
I knew it at some point in my life. Guys, it's like
you need more lighting.
You guys are not practicing social distancing. Please take this serious.
We live together, bro.
We live together, bro.
Not it, bro. I told you.
No, wait, hold on.
No, that's my stuff.
Oh, my bad.
So we do have one guest for tonight.
My shit's about to die.
Oh, Benny.
That's what she said.
Wow. So we have a guest for tonight. It's stand-up comedian Clayton Williams. I just sent him the text.
Clarence?
Going
Stand-up comedian?
No, not Clarence. Not Clarence. Clayton Williams. Oh, there he's connecting right now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Clayton, what's going on?
Oh, not much. How's it going?
We're alive and well, man. Having some you know.
I feel you.
Coronavirus screen.
Dang, you are really on one, huh? With that Brugal.
Yeah, I'm celebrating that my son is coming. Justin got married, and congratulations to Clayton. Clayton just got engaged to his
thank you
friend Jen. So congratulations.
Thank you so much, everybody.
The woman
they tied at 1-1.
So Clayton is a stand-up comic, and we wanted to check in with the people. You know, we want to know how the people are doing during this quarantine time. You know, so. Clayton, it's up to you. You have the mic. You have the floor, man. Let us know what you've been up to. Besides comedy, you also do. You're an artist, like Crazy Books, by the way. So,
yeah, thank you. I'm wearing a shirt with my own face on it.
So, what have you been up to? How's it going? Give us an update.
Pretty much it seems like what everybody else is doing is drinking and chilling. Trying to do these like live stream comedy shows, write stuff. Been bored out of my mind. Grilling. I don't know. It's grilling a lot, but grilling.
His balcony, guys, on his balcony.
Got a backyard right here. Yeah. Right in the patio.
Live stream comedy shows. That must be weird because usually you like to bounce and set up stuff in front of an audience. So how does that feel? Like being on video, you can't really gauge the room.
Exactly. Like you're just performing for whoever set up the room. So you feel like weird, especially if you're trying to do your material and then all of a sudden you're just standing there like, all right, usually I have like a pause because people are laughing, but now I got to just go through this real quick and just be waiting. It's awful. It's awful, but people want to watch them.
So I'm considering going into stand-up. So I've had a few of my friends. Ben, I can't stand you with the 3 diamonds, bro. A few of my friends have been encouraging me. And I was asking the guys earlier, have you guys been doing any, since we're creatives, any research, watching TV shows and stuff like that? And for me, one of the things that I've been watching a lot of is a lot of stand-up. Especially on Netflix. There's so many specials.
Yeah, there's a lot.
HBO Go has like the classic OG, like real 15-minute like nitty-gritty stand-up shows. So I've been doing like a lot of research in that aspect. Have you caught yourself kind of going down that rabbit hole, or are you really working more on your particular craft?
No, it's been good to like watch some older stuff and like a lot of like you said, there's been a lot of new specials that have been popping up. on Netflix. So it's been fun to see how it was before everything has happened. Like I like going through old comedy just to see like where people are coming from, new ideas, like stuff that I'm like, okay, I hear a premise you're talking about, and something like that has happened in my life, so I might want to work on something, or just see how people are just saying things. There's so many different ways of like handling a joke, or seeing if something I have might have been used like a long time ago, because like there's so many things that happen in this world, and like someone from like 20 years ago could have had a joke about it that you didn't know about, and then all of a sudden you do a little research and you're like, oh right, that's something else.
How do you walk? Because that's something I think about, like, because obviously I don't know really how to like sit down and like structure and write out, you know, what is that outline. How do you find that middle line? You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not really taking somebody else's joke, but it's something you've actually lived through. Like how does that kind of spin out nowadays? Because there's so many comics like that I know, like even personal friends of mine that like have gone through that with like, you stole my joke. And it's like, no, we kind of all live through similar things. Like,
yeah, it's what you got to do is like, when you're writing stuff in general, just even if it's not like a similar subject matter, how you write something and how you approach the world can be way different than someone else. Like everybody has like relationship issues, and it's way different for someone to go, all right, this is my relationship issue. And then you've heard like 6 other dudes do the same joke, or 6 other women. Like I remember watching like, the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary special, and they showed like 6 clips of everyone doing a Michael Jackson smoking crack bit. And I'm like, that's the same fucking joke. That's the same thing over and over and over, as
it's
opposed to
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah, because like you could have a similar experience. We all have similar experiences, but like how you approach that experience is different. Like unless you're just going like, oh man, my boyfriend, oh man, my girlfriend is like crazy, and then you just do the same joke. It's like, that's not interesting. Of course someone's going to call you out on that because you're like hitting it from the exact same angle, but like how how you handle it is way different. Like you might had a situation where like, okay, you got robbed, someone else, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and then like you might be like, oh, this is like a Thursday, like that kind of stuff where you approach it differently, and it makes it a lot better.
I got like an example of that. So when Kobe passed away, Ari Shaffir made a joke about, you know, it was badly timed, and I don't think he knew that Kobe's daughter was on a helicopter, but he basically said, you know, justice was served today, whatever.
What?
Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg were talking about it, and it's not maybe. You got to be really funny to pull off a joke at that, or in that kind of timing, or just the way you deliver it. For example, like, because Andy had walked into another comedian actually used a Kobe joke, and he said, oh, Kobe's dead. I didn't know LeBron passing him would have took him down, if he would have took that hard. Yeah.
Right.
So basically it's the joke, it's how you say the joke and at what time, you know. He basically alluded to Kobe being a rapist. That's why it didn't go over. But, you know, the other comic was playing to Kobe's competitiveness. Yeah. Now, with coronavirus, have you found yourself, like, looking at bits like that or working on some stuff?
Oh, man. Like, the thing is, I try not to do, like, too much topical stuff. Like, I know this is, like, because I know that everyone's going to be doing a corona virus joke. It's the same with everyone's got like a Tiger King joke now. Like everyone has it. Like and you're like, all right, it's cool. You might put in your quick joke and like get on with the wave real quick, but I don't want to like spend my time just going strictly off that, because it's just like at the end of the day, no one wants to keep thinking about this after it's done. Like if I'm working a show and then all of a sudden you got 3 other people like, remember how March was, blah 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 blah, and you're like, man, you guys didn't try anything else. You didn't think about how this affected, like, beyond that, like, okay, you can talk about it, but think about, like, other stuff that you did during this time. Like, how, like, you got opportunity to just, like, like you said, watch like Netflix or YouTube or learn new things that you might actually want to write about because you're learning about all these different like facts or information that you weren't even thinking about it.
Do you think that this coronavirus situation is going to be? There are certain situations in life and in history that happen that some are too serious to touch. 9/11 being one of them. Do you think that coronavirus kind of falls under that like very touchy category, or do you think it's because I feel like it's very like we're very here right now. Like there's no like this or that. It's starting to get like on the serious note here.
Yeah.
But there's also people that are not taking it there. So like where do you see that falling like in the future?
I think everything is up for grabs. Like honestly, like how Rick was saying about the Kobe thing. If you approach it in the right way, you can pretty much talk about any topic. You know, when people get angry about something, it's because you didn't do anything clever with it. I've heard funny 9/11 jokes. I've heard like when the coronavirus was starting, like when people were starting to find out about it and how serious it was for just in China and stuff. I was hearing people do jokes about it before it became what it is now. So I think everything can be touched upon if you have the right way of going about it. Like people talk about their family dying, or there are a lot of Jewish comics who talk about the Holocaust or any of these other things where it's like these feel like topics that you could never talk about. But if you have the right spin on it, if you have the right approach to it, if you know how to sell this idea where you're not trying to just shock somebody. That's the worst part of a joke that's not doing well, is that all they're worried about is shocking a person. You're really trying to make people go, all right, I know where you're coming from. The fact that you had this thought, we all had this thought. And we like you all have that thought and you just never really thought you were going to say it, but someone else said it, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. They found that funny moment right there. And I can be happy about it. I can laugh with them because I had that feeling, but I felt bad about it. But they knew how to word it the way I couldn't have said it. Like you couldn't just write that on something.
You connect if you could connect with people, right? Like if you could connect with them and make them look at it in a different way and be like, oh shit, that is kind of funny. Even though they may have been like looking at this thing as like this big tragedy, like oh shit, somebody found a way to like bring out the humor and what some of the weird aspects of that thing. I wanted to ask one thing that I have been watching a lot of is the Comedy Central roasts.
I love the roast.
But I was watching
can we do a local roast? Can we roast each other like the Rick
we could come up with something like that.
I think we have enough personalities. Look at Benny right now. That's enough for like.
I think Benny has so much material on me. It's not funny. But I want to suggest a stand-up special for people to watch. And I think
5 minutes.
Can I debut in comedy?
It's Sinbad. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna put up Sinbad did a really good one about growing older and being married. And the entire special, he had me dying. So if
Sinbad's real good.
I fuck with Sinbad too.
If there's a stand-up you guys want to look back on, that Sinbad one is really a good one.
Watch these old ones when he's wearing like tracksuits.
Look at Sinbad showing up in our podcast today.
Yo,
Sinbad's there. Sinbad, thank you for popping up. We love you.
Hey, my man.
Yo, how well do you think you do? You think you could do like a roast of like a?
Yeah, I love doing roasts. Like I help people write roast jokes all the time.
Would you do this show? So the other thing that I was watching is that shit led me on like a wormhole, a rabbit hole of watching like comedy shit, and I found that there's like a show on Netflix called Roast Battle.
Yeah, right? Roast battles.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, with comedians, they like go head to head against each other, roasting each other. And Kevin Hart is one of the judges on it. So it's kind of dope. Y'all should watch that shit. But would you do that shit? Would you do like the roast battle?
Yeah, actually, I was supposed to. So I was supposed to do a roast battle before this. Like I was like ready to set up for the roast battle, and then everything was closed down, so we all had to reschedule. So I'm actually supposed to be doing
Justin and Jen's wedding, right?
Huh?
It was like Justin and Jen's.
It was literally that Monday or that Sunday, like the next day was supposed to happen, and then it got moved to Tuesday, and then everything got closed down. But yeah, I'm supposed to be doing one next week, actually on this type of thing. I don't know which platform we're going to be, but yeah, it's going to be a live roast battle too. Like, I love writing roast battle jokes. I love roasting people. That's another thing. It's like, we talk about how people's feelings on something. If someone has a funny joke about me or something, whatever, I don't care how sad it is or dark or whatever. If it's funny, I love it. Like, that's like the best thing when someone can make me laugh at something that like might make me sad personally or whatever. Like, I'm like, fuck, they got me. Like,
is there a huge difference between writing stand-up and writing a roast battle?
Yeah, there's I'm sorry, because so if you're writing stand-up, a lot of people might do they can do one-liners or they'll do story-based type of stuff. With a roast, you're trying to get to the very quickest part about making fun of that person, and like the quickest way. You don't have like time to just be building up the joke, like, especially because most of the crowd don't even know this person. That's the thing about it. Like, you have to figure out a way to let people know what this person's like and why you're making fun of them, why they should laugh at this, because it's like, they've never met you before. They don't have like your history of you. You don't even really know this person. You just get information from them, and then you got to go, okay,
so you got to
like this.
You got to pick up on some on like physical shit, on like some way that they talk, maybe mannerism.
It has to be very obvious, like,
because sometimes it's like it has to connect where it's like there's a level of obviousness, but if you also have to know how to use your words, because there's like jokes you'll write about someone. Like, I've written a joke about a dude just off because all I have is his appearance, but I know one thing about him, and suddenly the joke isn't just about his appearance. It's about some other shit that connects to him, and then everyone's like, oh my God, he does look like this, or, oh yeah, of course. Like, especially if you're quick enough where you hear how they tell jokes, and then you can just fire someone off real quick and kind of fuck them up, because they're like, oh man, I wasn't even thinking about that. And now I know something about them strictly from us doing the roast, and I can just spit something real quick. And like, now all of a sudden everyone's on my side, because not only did I have something ready for them, I'm reacting to how they're telling a joke. So now I can make a joke real quick to hit them that they don't have that kind of opportunity on me, because they didn't have anything written for me, because they don't really recognize a personality trait or like a way they spoke.
So I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
How does comedy, because for me, like, every time it's one of my favorite shows, but every time, because I'm on the creative side of it, and I've been in production, and I've been in different positions in the industry, shows like Wildin' Out. Love Wildin' Out. I used to work with Big Mac at the radio station. I was in Miami. So like, how does that, like, is that, it's different, right, than stand-up, because it's very like on the ball, like it's very like roasty.
I mean, they have writers for Wildin' Out. It's like it's written. like I mean, they'll talk about it.
Is it really all like really pre-written like that?
Yeah, there's like it's written. Like, they have all these. You don't think it's weird that everybody all knows the dance that you just made up in 10 seconds? like they all
I know there's some things in production that's not, but there's
there's some things that they like. Obviously, they'll be able to come up with a line or two, but most of that stuff is written. Like, they have their written out bits. They know. Like, they have writers on that show, but so that's a lot different than stand up too, because it's more like they're trying to.
It's more like
they're trying to replicate improv games, right?
Now, you brought it up. So there's improv, there's stand-up, there's television, there's film, and there's actually roasting, which is another style of comedy. Out of all 5, I think that I named all 5. So television, because to me, Eddie Murphy takes the cake. He's done everything successfully. The GOAT stand up is between Chappelle and Pryor to me. Just because of the way, Chappelle tell a joke in the beginning of the stand up and then finish it off at the end, and the shit is still hilarious.
I feel like this quarantine, I really need to step into a little bit more. I'm not
So out of those 5 phases of comedy, which one do you enjoy doing the most? Like television, stand up. I don't know if you've done any much of improv or sketches.
I've done some improv and I've done some sketches. Improv is can be fun, but I also don't like because some people who are really about improv have too much structure, and they're because that's their only thing, and so they lose sight of where improv can be fun. So I don't mess with improv as much. I love just doing stand up because honestly, it's you're by yourself, and you're working on something that you're trying to express who you are and make a crowd react to that and feel how you're coming from. And just there's a lot of just roast battle writing is a lot of fun too, simply because it's a practice of your skills of knowing how to write something real quick and being really concise.
Roasting because that's the one time you're allowed to be mean, but it's kind of like.
But I think with comedy, comedy has immunity over everything, so you can be mean at all times. We were talking about 9/11 and Kobe jokes. I think there's no line that you draw in comedy. There's nothing that's off topic in comedy to me.
I mean, there's a level of people not there's a level of people not really everyone complains about people being too sensitive about stuff. I get it, but you have to understand that not everything is for you. I would never say if you want to go just something simple do you like this kind of food? No, then why would you tell people they can't have that kind of food? Or do you like I like this kind of car. I'm sorry, we can't have blue cars anymore because I don't like blue cars. That's the kind of stuff that people are doing.
Cancel culture.
Listen, I tell everybody, God created it. I feel like God created a whole ice cream shop, and everybody likes different flavors. Some dulce de leche, some pistachio, some run raisins, some cookies and cream. My flavor is just not for everyone.
Yeah,
but comedy has immunity. I've always
comedy should. I think good comedy should have immunity. If you're not, that's the big thing though. There are people who are obviously going to get mad about something, and then there are people who just aren't good at comedy. And there are definitely where I've heard some crazy shit from people that you're
didn't go over well.
You're yeah, that didn't go because you were you didn't do that right. This was terrible. How are you just gonna be oh, such and such mom got fucked, blah blah. You're why would you say something like that? But someone could have the same premise and they said it the right way, and you're damn, that's good.
Read the room and the charisma was at a different level. I always feel and it's always how you set your jokes up, and you got to know your crowd. I forgot who. I think it was Russell Peters. Russell Peters was talking about it. He's been in stadiums where he's bombed on a couple jokes, but he's worked on that same joke on a different crowd, smaller venues, and it goes over well.
Yeah. So, it's just not all going to be the same. We all have to remember.
Favorite roasts?
My favorite roast? On a just show or something, or just a joke about somebody.
What has been something that stands out for you? For me, I know that one of my favorite staples in comedy was watching it wasn't a roast per se, but it was the Latin Kings of comedy. For me, seeing that was absolutely amazing. And I've even compared, I just watched one of my last George Lopez specials, and I love George so much, but it was too political for me. So I couldn't get into it. It frustrated me because his original stuff is great. So it's for you, what's one of those things? One of the things that inspires you?
There's a lot of stuff. Gerard Carmichael, if you go on HBO, his special 8, I think it was called.
His show was amazing too.
Yeah,
I love Gerard.
like he's so like I remember when he was like no one really knew who he was, and I would just see him like fuck, he's so funny. There's like he's really good. Hannibal, I really like.
I like Hannibal too.
Yo, you know, I don't like Hannibal's stand up like that. I feel like I like him on stuff. Like he's on like City. I really like his the way he plays certain characters. I really fuck. But I watched his stand up and I feel like, how can I say, maybe it didn't connect with me like that, but I just felt like if a lot of it felt a little flat. Maybe I built it up and I was like expecting, you know, something different or something like that, like his style to be different. But
no, that makes sense because you watch somebody, you like their cadence or their like presence on a TV show, and then their stand up is different. I've always liked Hannibal. Like again, I remember when he was like you could find only like one YouTube clip of him, and I was like, this dude's hilarious. There's a guy, Kyle Kinane. I think he's super funny. I don't watch like the roast stuff. Like I like doing roast things, but I don't watch as many roasts as like because I'm just like, all right, at stand up, yeah, because I love seeing like people's how their mind works. Like I did like all the Chappelle shit. I just think that should have been like 3 specials instead of 5. Because he had like, because you watch it.
The last one was the best. I think he had best timing on it.
I think if there was like, because he keeps hitting on a lot of stuff, and this would have been an amazing 3 specials, and because it's like, all right, you have these huge, like amazing chunks, and then you got a lot of filler in some of this stuff, and like if you made 3 specials with this material, that would have been amazing. Like there's like a lot of people
stretched out longer ones rather than 5.
Like not even long. It's like 3 hours instead of 5. Like where it's like you're cutting out the fat because there's a lot of stuff where it's like, yeah, it really is because you're watching it and you're like, man, this like 10, 15 minutes from this special is amazing. That would go into this part, which would build together to be a really good chunk. And then this would have been better here. This would have been, if you took this out, this would have been a lot better. And then you would have these like where a lot of people are upset with some of the jokes, and it makes sense why they're upset with the jokes only because you know he's kind of stretching on this topic. Like he has there's like, man, you have something right here that's really good and you're stretching. This other part, you're stretching, but then you have something really good here. Or like, so if you cut out all that stretching and then you put those bits together, you have something amazing. Like you'll watch a lot of people who can say they can do an hour of material, and it's like you could talk for an hour, but you know, like like
5 minutes.
Yeah, be good at 5. Like be good at the time. Like build that actual time where it's like you have real time. So. Yeah, I think Chappelle is an amazing comedian. I can never not say he's an amazing comedian.
So
like
who's one of your? I mean, because Dave's stand-up is second to none. But then he falls flat on. Well, he has Chappelle show, but the movie part, it's not. He doesn't have that kind of success like Eddie did or Richard Pryor did. And that's why I think people always
has Mark Anthony complex. They're really. And they just can't get to the other things they want.
Yeah. I'm with you on Gerard Carmichael. I love his timing. I love his delivery. I love his whole demeanor when he's doing the show. And he just does the comedy that's for his generation. It doesn't matter what the crowd is, and it still goes over well. And if you look at his show on NBC, he had Rel, he had Tiffany Haddish, and he had
David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer was the name I was trying. So he had like comics, and this was before Rel
was blown up too.
Yeah. So I like him. One of my favorite specials though is "Killing Me Softly" by Chappelle.
That special is amazing.
That was just.
Yo, you know who I really fuck with, and I kind of feel bad. You know, like right now all the 2 comedians actually, I'm gonna say that guy swept up with the Me Too movement. And
Bill Cosby.
I wasn't gonna say Bill Cosby, but
Cosby's an easy joke now. So
I was gonna say Louis C.K. and Aziz Ansari.
Yeah.
I feel like Aziz Ansari's stand-up, and when I first watched it, I was kind of like, like I wasn't really connecting with it the first, like, probably about 10, 15 minutes, like that much. But I feel like he really got, like, I forget what it was called, but it was maybe like 4 years ago that he did it. Maybe more.
I know which one you're talking about.
Right?
I'm trying to remember the name too. But Aziz is good on television, stand-up, and I think film too. So, but it's just these things happen. Not to say that, not to downplay Me Too or any of that, but you see, he lost over $30 million over the entire thing, and he's trying to. He went around. We were talking about this with Andy Haynes. We had Andy Haynes on the show. He just went about it the wrong way as far as coming back to comedy. He didn't do like a contrite apology. He didn't, he just wanted to go straight back into stand-up. He thought that he was, and that's why he suffered from. I think Aziz is fine though. I think he bounced back.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he touched on it a little bit in his newest special, but there's it's a heavy topic that it's hard to like approach because there's different levels of different things, and there's so many like fine details to so much of this stuff that you can't make a blanket statement on anything. And I feel that's the biggest problem with so much of this stuff is like we're all trying to make everything
fit in a box that doesn't.
Yeah, it's like one, like a monolith of an idea. It's like it's one thing of that everything has to be this thing that we're not listening to, and we're forcing people to have the same opinion on something, or just forcing everyone to think it's a certain way that it's not. Like, we don't have anyone letting individual incidents be themselves. Like,
right.
Even with beyond like the talking about Me Too, or just like what we were talking about with people getting angry at comedy clubs for something that they didn't like. It doesn't even have to be something offensive, but like if it affects you, like you're not the only person there. Like everything can't be built off of you. We can't all make everyone one thing, because we're losing a lot of what makes this world great, because we're individuals. I know that's very cliche sounding, but that's kind of messing up so much of this stuff.
I mean,
I was asking more on the lines of like them, like the comedians themselves. Like, so like Aziz, right? I feel like his style of comedy, it was something that for me was like, I hadn't really seen it. So I feel like in the beginning, it seemed a little bit like, but as he got into his sets, which I felt the same way a little bit about Louis C.K., a lot of his stuff being like really offensive. And now within the frame of what happened, it's harder to like
take it as a joke.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's harder to like look at it and be like laugh along with it, because it's like, coming from this person at this moment, it doesn't really connect with me. But I found it funny, but like I found him that funny before, like his special funny before, and Aziz too. And like now I find myself watching. I tried watching the Louis C.K. one, and I was kind of like, I fuck with some of the jokes, but I'm like, it's kind of like a cringe moment where you're looking at it and you're like, this person saying this shit.
You're like, damn, you should have said that, bro.
But that's up to me
next to the chicks.
Huh?
Are you picturing him masturbating? That's what he's doing.
Like Louis C.K. in his hotel room.
While he's writing the jokes, beating off.
I just think, again, comedy should have all the immunity in the world. If you're going in to see stand-up specifically, like if you're going to the actual club, you're going to see a comedy show. So there might be some shit you hear that you don't like. So just don't try to mess it. Like this stuff, I've seen a comic, and I went to, I think it was Village Underground. And there was a comic there that he didn't with me, he didn't go over well. But I didn't, make comments or snarks or try to get him off his set. I just waited for him to be done. Like, okay, I don't think this guy's funny.
Yeah.
But I think comedy should have that creative, out of everything else, that creative space, because you should be able to touch on whatever is up in the air.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
One.
Jayla's trying to be your opening act.
Actually, that's question number 3. Thanks. No, in animated comedy, I know I don't feel like there's a lot of animated comedians nowadays. No, very much Jim Carrey.
Voiceover work?
No, I know what you're talking about, like
physical
big
comedy.
Performance guys.
Like physical comedy. Like Jim Carrey was very like expressive and very like out there. Who is there, and do you see anybody being in that light? And then my second follow-up question is women comedy. I know I've been watching a few females do comedy. Obviously, again, research.
Yeah.
COVID-19 research 2020. But like I've been seeing like a Taylor Tomlinson, like she does very much, she does very much millennial comedy. Like for me, she resonates with me. To me,
I like that special.
I like her delivery. I like her moving forwardness. Like she's very like a girl's girl. She is what a millennial is in 2020.
Wong is terrific too. I like Ali Wong.
Ali Wong is another one that I watch. Michelle, I can never say her last.
Michelle Wolf?
No, B. She's the one that does the
Michelle B. Oh yeah, Buteau. Yeah, Michelle Buteau.
I love her so much. Like, there's a few female comedians. So for you, who is a female comedian that stands out? And who is one of those animated comedians that stand out to you?
For female comics, like you said, Tomlinson, Sam J. I don't know if you've ever heard Sam J, but Sam J is hilarious. Like, I think she's like so funny. And Maria Bamford, I like. She's like super weird, and I dig her stuff. Who else is there? Are a lot of like female comics that I like. I'm trying to think of right now, like where they're just like they're newer and sometimes they're not famous, so you're just like, oh man, this person. But this is like a real good. They just have like they have that with the more physical comedians. I
think Tiffany Haddish has that type of like physical loud.
She's very, she's like that loud.
She's like a low-key Latina. She be talking with her hands.
I personally don't like to like animated people, only because so many of them, at least the ones that I've seen a lot of, aren't really telling jokes. It's just the performance. Yeah. And like you can love that, and that's fun. That's fine. But there are so many people who are just like, I'm gonna make a face and I'm gonna do this, but you didn't say anything. And I'm like, all right, cool. Mainly because I just like people who are good writers. So when it's like an overly physical comedian, I'm just like, all right, can you write a joke? And basically, could I listen to this on a podcast, or can I listen to this just in audio and laugh?
I was like, are you gonna make a whole album on it? Because I remember when comedy albums were like a thing.
Yeah, they still like people.
I have comedy albums.
Yeah, so people make them, and then you're like, you can't unless you're gonna have someone saying in the background, he moves his arms real crazy. Like that's the like. Like he jumped right now. Like otherwise,
narrating
like blam, and then nothing. You can't you can't see or you can't hear a person's performance. Like.
And then he moved across the stage.
Mm-hmm. Like, imagine a funny face. Like, that's that. You're like, all right, this is like that. I think that would be more funny than what he's doing right now. Because otherwise, like, what's the point? You're just like saying nothing, and then I hear a crowd laugh, and it's like, all right, cool. Like, I guess
they're laughing.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you a 2-part question. First part is, it could be a movie, a television show, or a stand-up special that you have? And second is, now that you came down from Buffalo and you're doing some of these spots in New York, where can we catch you at if, God forbid, this Corona thing is over?
So right now I do a lot of like bar show. Well, right now I'm doing nothing but sitting here talking to you guys.
We got the exclusive.
Yeah. Doing like bar shows around. I run a mic at Halyards in Gowanus. You can find me at like the Stand or New York Comedy Club, sometimes doing shows from time to time, wherever they put me up. And I go back to Buffalo to time to do the Helium Comedy Club and the other Heliums around the country.
I was gonna say I do Helium too.
Oh, you?
Oh, that's
different Helium.
What we're talking about. Cool, good talk.
So your Instagram handle, just in case, is ClayFighter88. Just in case if people want to add you, you got some really good drawings in there. Actually, you're wearing the shirt right now. So for Black History Month, you did SNL comics, which I thought was pretty dope. Every day you did a different Black comic. Favorite stand-up, movie, TV that gets you in that zone? That still, when you watch it, you know, like for me, it's Trading Places. That gets you in that zone to like, man, I want it. All right, let me get you like inspired to write more jokes.
For me, it's the Step Brothers. I love that
movie. Gerard Carmichael's 8 right now. It's just like going back to it, it's like, man, like this is exactly the kind of stuff that I love watching, where it's like this energy is so good and just everything he's saying, and like he's doing exactly what we were talking about, where it's like he's talking about something harsh. Like he's talking about like how your grandpa was shitty. And I'm like, man, everyone's like pissed off and like freaked out, but it's like it's so funny because he's saying it the exact right way to say it. So that really
I think he's
excited about doing comedy
in that special where the crowd kind of grown a little bit.
He said a bunch of jokes when the crowd grown.
Yeah, and he has a way of already like having something set up where like, oh, really, like you're gonna boo me on that joke, and I made a joke about this, or I did this.
Oh, you care about tigers now? Like that's that. Like,
yeah.
Like that was the funniest. And I was like, yeah, like everyone's like acting like they care about tigers, and then now everyone cares about tigers. But like beforehand, like you don't give a fuck about tigers. Like,
you know, one thing though, I found it weird that on that, because we brought up the tiger thing. Carol Baskin was doing the exact same thing. All the other fucking
Carol.
So it was. I don't mean to throw her under the bus. But she was doing the exact same thing. She had tigers
in a worse scenario. Like they were in a worse. Like I know they're all crazy people, because it's like you can't rescue these animals if you don't have the space for it. You're talking about. She's literally saying tigers need the space, and then you have a smaller cage than the dude who has the zoo. That seems and
then the tiger got to stick his head on the side of the cage to drink water.
I don't trust her. I don't trust her and her nappy ass hair. No. Do not trust Carol Baskin.
Hey there, cool cat. And what is it that she's cool cat?
Hey there, cool cats and kittens.
Well, I want to thank Clayton for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We know you have a really busy and hectic schedule now, so thank you for making the time for being on.
I got to be at the other side of the apartment right now. Woo.
But thanks for coming on, brother. We'll see you guys next Tuesday with the next episode. Do you guys, each one of you, want to give some like a recommendation of what to watch?
We're just gonna do this quarantine stuff, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna have to. Of like what to watch. Craze, you go first. You're on the top screen.
Well, I'm gonna watch that Tiger bullshit because I keep talking about.
No, for the audience though. Tiger King. Get it right.
You will be a Joe Exotic fan by the end of tonight, my friend.
Jayla, what are you gonna give people to watch? One thing.
I'm gonna look for those roasts. Actually, I'm not gonna front.
What is for you in the
I put roast on Netflix, and literally it has a whole like options, and the one that caught my attention says Between Two Ferns.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Zach Galifianakis.
yeah, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach
He could
Galifianakis has my
yeah.
heart. He's under my realm of white guys that I would.
So Between Two Ferns is actually pretty funny. So Benny, give the crowd a suggestion of something that they can do or watch while they're stuck at home.
Porn.
Yo,
Okay.
All right, Benny.
Ray, you got something to say about that? It seems like you got a follow-up.
me? Clay?
Not in my bathroom.
You had a follow-up, Craze. I saw you like, yo, porn.
Oh, did y'all hear that?
It just went off. He's like, yeah, porn.
Somebody sent me a
He
thing.
thought it was a good one.
Pornhub is giving 2 months free for everybody that's on quarantine right now. I heard that Pornhub.
Oh,
Guys, I'm not with your better than this.
Party source that 2 months free. You know, Jayla. You know, if you at home, I don't know.
No, I don't do porn, honey, or masturbation. I rather think that
give
I'm
our
not a window
audience something to
shopper.
watch during this quarantine.
Just an FYI.
2 months free. God,
I'm not a window shopper. Sorry.
So, Clayton, do you have something for us to watch?
Besides porn.
This isn't like comedy related, but if you have HBO, there's this docu series called McMillions. That's
that
actually
was
real.
terrific. I watched it. It was pretty good. Yeah.
It's real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, watch.
But-
Great.
And watch the Gerard Carmichael special 8. It's amazing.
And watch the show. The show is pretty good. It's only 2 seasons, but it's pretty good. I mean, you don't got nothing else to do.
Great.
Wait. What's that special called?
8.
Like
The number 8. Yeah.
So, Clayton, thank you for coming on. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Justin will do the video. We'll put it on IG Live. We'll put it on YouTube. I know it's weird to do like a Zoom and try to live stream it, but we'll figure it out. I'll see you guys next week. Everybody have a good night.
Wait, can our exit song be Yo Perreo Sola? Dun, 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 dun. Wait, Bad Bunny, where's Bad Bunny?
Where's the Bad Bunny figure that you got?
Right there. Yo Perreo Sola. Meow.
Making me go through my phone now. You know what's funny? I know I got a song with us. There you go. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Yo perreo sola. Yo perreo sola.